I'm Dr. Kaylin from Mindset Hypnosis, and I wanted to take just a few minutes of your time to explain a little teeny bit about hypnosis and also explain the difference between hypnosis in my office versus hypnosis at a distance, where perhaps you and I never meet each other in person because maybe you live across the country or it's just more convenient to you to do this in the privacy of your own home. So, one thing we all have is we have a conscious part of our brain and we have a subconscious part of our brain. And they act a little differently from each other, or maybe they act a lot differently from each other. And one of the differences is that they hear words and language differently from each other. So our conscious mind might hear one thing and our subconscious mind could potentially hear the opposite. And sometimes it's that dynamic that makes change so difficult. Now, as a professional hypnotherapist, I'm not magical, but I do understand that dynamic. And so I can work as a linguist, actually, knowing what words work with the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind. That's it. Not magic. Just words and knowing the right words. So, what we would do if you were in my office is you and I would have a conversation about what is it that we're working to change that day. Because your subconscious mind is controlling your habits and your perceptions and your beliefs and your outcomes, and that's kind of a big deal. So what with your conscious mind do you want to change that I can help motivate your subconscious mind to change to what you want it to be? So we have that discussion, and then you would sit back in a recliner, maybe use a blanket if it makes you feel more comfortable. And I would sit right over there, and I would do all the talking. And you wouldn't even have to pay attention. In fact, you could take a nap if you really felt like it. So now, here's one thing. I would be recording what I'm saying to you while I'm saying it to you. And I would give you a copy of that recording. Usually it's a MP3, but some people still want a CD. You decide. But that becomes your homework. And I have you listen to that recording of your session that I just did for you live while you were here. I would have you listen to that recording for about 5 to 10 days. And the reason I want you to listen to it for that period of time is because the subconscious mind prefers a certain amount of repetition. And sometimes it picks up on one thing one time and it picks on something else when it's ready to at a different listening time. So we want to have that opportunity for that dynamic to take place. And then we would meet again in about a week and a half later and talk about what we need to do next, and we would take that next step and that process would repeat. Now here's what's different. If you can't come in the office and we can't speak face to face and I can't do that recording live and give you a copy of that recording, it's not much different. The difference is we would talk over the phone and you would tell me what it is you wanted to work on, and we would have that two-way discussion on the phone just like we would have in person. But then we hang up the phone and I make the recording when I get off the phone of what would I have said to you had you been in my office in person that day at that moment. And I record that. And I get that to you via CD or MP3, your preference, just like before. And just like before, you have the exact same homework of listen to this for 5 to 10 days before we speak on the phone again to see what we do next. Not a lot of difference, except for you're listening to your recorded session and in the privacy of your own home. So if you wanted to, sit and listen to it in your own recliner or on your couch or in your bed while you're falling asleep at night. In fact, you can sleep through it. You just can at your convenience, at your schedule. So that's the only difference, is I either record it live with you here, or I record it and get it to you later for you to listen to the same thing I would have said to you if you were in my office. That's how it works. It's pretty simple.